What it do, what it ain't, what it is, what's good, still a nation? It's your boy, Mr. Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you back to the break room. Go ahead and pull your lunch out, order your DoorDash or whatever, and let's get into it. You know, like off top, our fan base is so spoiled. Like, bro, we won. Why are people complaining? Uh, if you thought Baltimore was going to lose by 20 points, then you haven't followed the rivalry. That has never happened. We have to be realistic with our expectations, and we have to be appreciative that we came out the game healthy. There was no injuries, because that game could be one of them games with the hard hits where people get beat up. So we have to be thankful for the fact that we had no injuries for that game. We're 8-2. We are 8-2. We're first place in our division. We had a 1-game lead. Now we got a 2-game lead on the Ravens in our division. And thanks to Bills Nation, shout out to Bills Nation, they beat the Chiefs. Now the table is set. If we beat the Chiefs, now we take over first place. If we take care of business, like we got to take care of business. We got Browns twice, the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Ravens again. I put it to you like this. The Browns are no pushover, but that is a winnable game. If we take care of business, man, come Christmas time, or even like come when we see the Ravens a second time, we don't know what's going to happen to the Chiefs between now and then. If we take care of our business and do what we're supposed to do, then there is no reason why, the Steelers won't be in first place. And that's not bad, for a team that was supposed to come in last place in the division, for a team that's supposed to have a losing record, for a team that, when they said, oh, you got 2 quarterbacks, that means you have no quarterbacks. They showed Sunday how Justin Fields logically can be used going forward. And, when they put Justin Fields in, the crowd reacted very positively. Like, people went crazy. Because it's what people have been asking for. Like, yo, you got a guy on that sideline that is just as good as far as being mobile as any quarterback in the league. Why are we not using him at all? And so the Steelers answered that. And, had it not been for an early slide, Justin Fields would have came in and he came in and did a phenomenal job. He picked up yardage, but, he slid early on that one play. And it's like, bro, you got one job. Pick that first down up. Go ahead first. If you got to take a hit, take a hit. But don't jeopardize your future or nothing. But, if you get a little hit, then you get a little hit, bro. I've seen you go head first on other plays. I've seen you go head first, trying to get touchdowns and stuff like that. Quarterback sneaks. This would be no different. So just pick up the first down, and people won't have nothing to say about what you did on Sunday because he came in and he made an impact when they called upon him. So they must have told him to stay ready. So I like that. Patrick Queen had a phenomenal game. 10 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovered. 1 forced fumble, and he recovered the fumble that he forced. He went and got it. That thing went like 7 yards up the field, and he went and got it. I'm very impressed with Patrick Queen these last couple weeks. And one thing that I've been trying to say is, people say, oh, he's nothing without Roquan. Roquan's the reason why he had a name. And, there's 11 guys on the field. Everybody has a job to do. Whether it's T.J. Watt or Alex Highsmith or Roquan Smith, there's 11 guys on the field. I can't attribute someone's success to one guy. You know, if they can schematically use him in a way where he's impactful, we're good. And so we can't sit here and knock a guy for within the system. He played within the system, and he's playing within the system in Pittsburgh, and he's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's healthy, and that's the main thing. We need somebody that's going to be healthy. We need somebody that's going to be available, and he has been that, and I hope that continues to be the case. You know, there's no reason why Pittsburgh can't make a splash as long as they stay healthy. If health is on our side, man, we're limitless. And Pittsburgh has shown to be a championship caliber team because no matter the adversity they face, they find a way to win. Whether it's special teams making the play, offense making the play, defense making the play. Second play of the game set the tone for that game on Sunday. We saw right then and there it was going to be a defensive game. When Herbig chased down Derrick Henry and fumbled, forced him to fumble the ball, that guys went years without having a fumble. And, that set the tone. It's the AFC North, man. It's going to be a war today. For the most part, it was a clean game. I mean, there's always scuffles, whether it's us and the Ravens or us and the Bengals, there's always going to be scuffles. But aside from that, clean play. Nobody was like dirty hits or late hits or anything like that. And so, as a fan, I was happy. Pittsburgh showed up and they played well. And they have been proving all the doubters and all the critics wrong. Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year. I've heard people mention Dan Campbell. I've heard people mention, who else did they say? Dan Campbell. And I've heard Kevin O'Connell mentioned. But with all due respect, the Lions were supposed to do everything that they're doing. I don't care if they go 16-1, 17-0, 15-2. I don't really care. They were supposed to do everything that they're doing right now. They said Mike Tomlin our team was going to be worse than the Browns. Do you know how much of an insult that is? I think the Browns might have the worst record in the league right now. And they said our team, I think it's between them or the Jags, they said our team was going to be worse than the Browns. They said we was going to be the worst team in our division, the AFC North. They said that we was going to have a losing record. People said we might get 8 or 9 wins. Might. That's just flat out disrespectful. To not only Coach Tomlin, it's disrespectful to Russ, Justin Fields, and every other guy on that team. Like, people was really sleeping on Russell Wilson. So, yeah, I know I'm biased, but given what people were saying, Vikings didn't have the heat that we had. They lost Kirk Cousins, but they didn't have the heat in terms of, the pressure. The Vikings was just a wild card, a surprise. And to some degree, Steelers are too. However, the Vikings wasn't getting talked down on the way the Steelers are getting talked down on. And I feel like they should be rewarded for the adversity that they faced since training camp, since OTAs. Like, they've been talked down on since like March, April. And everything that people have said about them, they have proven them wrong to this point. We're 8-2, man. We are 8-2. Still a nation. I need y'all to stop complaining. Because there are fan bases that have never, even had half the success that we've had, and never will. There are fan bases where fans have never seen consistency in terms of winning. I mean, look at the Cowboys right now. Last year, they was balling. They paid their guys. They paid CD. They paid Dak, and they look like a dumpster fire right now because they don't have culture. They don't have culture. They don't have leadership. So it's one of the things to where we have to be appreciative of what we have. I don't truly feel like people will really appreciate the wins until they appreciate what we currently have. You have to appreciate the culture we have. You have to appreciate the head coach that we have. You have to appreciate um, the team, the roster, how it was put together. How it's like a prove it year. How it truly, on the outside looking in, it truly looks like a team like atmosphere. It's a team friendly atmosphere. There are no me's, there are no I's. It's just we. And we gonna go here, we gonna go there, we gonna go everywhere, and we're gonna prove everyone wrong. And so, as a fan, I'm very appreciative for the guys competing the way that they are, because it's dope to see. It's beautiful to see. Chris Boswell, the boss. Enough cannot be said about Chris Boswell. He's been around just as long as Justin Tucker, and he's just been a level of consistency throughout all the changes that we've had. He's been a model of consistency. He's been a cornerstone for the special teams. And I remember when we got him, Swisham got hurt in the Hall of Fame game, and we needed a kicker. And I remember when Swisham got hurt in that Hall of Fame game, I think he was trying to tackle somebody in the Hall of Fame game, and I believe it was against the Saints. And we was like, man, this is terrible. Like, what we going to do? Insert Chris Boswell. Nobody's heard of the guy. I believe they said he was working at McDonald's or something like that. He's been a stand-up guy. He's been no issues, no problems, no drama. He's just he's one of those quiet leaders. He comes in and does his job. And whether he has an amazing game or a bad game, he's not a distraction either way. Tuck, I ain't got nothing but respect for Tuck. But Tuck do something good, he's like a rock star. He gonna let you know. And Boswell, he had there booting 57-yard field goals in Heinz Field. Oh, he helmet tap, hand slap. He does his job. He does his job. And yesterday, this man delivered one of the greatest performances I've ever seen from a kicker. Again, and it was dope because it's Heinz Field. For years, people said, well, Acrisure Stadium. For years, people have said that is the hardest place to kick because of the wind patterns and things coming off of the rivers. That is the hardest place to kick. And Boswell delivered a masterpiece. And yes, it's home field advantage for him, but he delivered a masterpiece in terms of kicking in one of the hardest places to kick in the National Football League, if not the hardest place to kick in the National Football League. Got to get that man a standing ovation. Got to get that man a standing ovation. And he's another example. They can't win just kicking field goals. Why can't we? This is the second time this year he's done that. We've done that. We sure can. If we can keep that team from scoring so many points, we sure can. And honestly, if it had not been for the interception in the red zone to Darnell Washington, who didn't even make an attempt to catch the football, we would have went up to 21 points. So he would have had 7 made field goals. And so that touchdown and 2-point conversion that they could have done would not have even mattered, without an onside kick and some more stuff happening. Some more stuff had to happen. 21 points on kicks. Man, put that man leg on ice. He is a dog. Put his leg on ice. You know what I'm saying? He is the GOAT. As far as I'm concerned, somebody said he's not even Adam Vinatieri. See, the thing about Adam Vinatieri was he was with the Patriots, so he was getting rings. You know what I'm saying? Boswell, you insert him on any championship level team, and he will be Adam Vinatieri. You know, the only thing that we haven't had is playoff wins and playoff runs that the Patriots had. And Adam Vinatieri went from the Patriots to the Colts. He was always in the mix. So he is absolutely Adam Vinatieri. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you say crazy stuff like that. Oh, he's not Adam Vinatieri. Yeah, you sound crazy. Check the stats. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Man, the Boz, you know, TJ delivered a nasty hit to Derrick Henry. Welcome to the North, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't none of these other divisions. We ain't none of these other teams. We ain't scared of y'all. And we gonna lay it down every time we see you. Helmet to helmet, hat on the hat, and we hitting. We hitting. That's just what it is. Derrick Henry, as good as he is, if he gets to the second level and third level, yeah, he has a tremendous amount of success. But if you catch him before them wheels start going, and if you pursue, like do like backdoor pursuits and stuff like that, he's not as effective. And that's no disrespect to him. That's just what the record shows. You know, TJ hit that man like he was a little boy. Little boy. Whole city was like, ooh. So I was like, oh shit. Like, man, we had a ball. We had a ball. So yeah, the second time we see them boys, man, it's going to be intense again. I mean, it always is, man. But I feel like Russ may have a better game because if you're not, it's almost like, you know what I'm saying, you start dating somebody and their family is just like wild. You ain't used to that crap. Like, and I think Russ, it took an adjustment period, but even though it took an adjustment period, Russ played the game, you know, as it was supposed to be played. And in terms of athletes, they say let the game come to you. Russ let the game come to him. He didn't try to force it. The only thing he tried to force was Darnell Washington. And if you look at the tape, the dude was like just standing there, like boxing out the guy. I mean, he could, if he just put his hands up, it's a touchdown. And I'm one of the guys, you know, even at the stadium. You know, we was talking, and he was like, "Oh man, so they gotta get Washington involved. They gotta get Washington involved." And then like 2 plays later, Washington caught like a catch up the hash or whatever, and took it for a couple yards. And we high five each other like, "Yeah, man, we gotta get Washington involved." And so when that happened, I was like, "Come on, bro." Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So Russ played the game. He let it come to him. He didn't force anything. And I think that was the message to him. Don't force nothing. Just take what they give you. And we'll see, you know, if we have to take risks, we take risks later on, but don't give the game away. You know, Baltimore, in terms, they gave the game away. But it wasn't like they did it by choice. We took the game on defense. Like, defense set the tone for everyone. Defense set that tone. So, I mean, it was a great game. It was a great game. And, you know, I ride with our defense with anything. You know, defense wins championships. Defense wins big games. If you can close out, you know, on defense and your defense is as good as our defense, then, you know, not the worst thing in the world. You know, those guys, they have been playing with a chip on their shoulder all season. As someone on Sunday said, I like football the way I like my ham, chippy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been playing chippy all year. They are feared. People are going to make mental mistakes. People are going to be like, why did you do that? Because they're scared. They're scared of our defense. And to be honest with you, they're scared of our team because they know our team is like that. And even though media personnel still don't want to give us credit, we are like that. You know, as I said last week, Stephen A. be switching up so much, man. You can't keep up with the man.
I'm not so sure the best team in the AFC right now is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're well coached. They don't beat themselves. Rush through a horrible interception in the end zone. But if you make me pick right now, you just said who are the Bills the best, I'm going to say no. But if you make me pick of the 14, the 3 to 4 teams that which are the best, I'm going to go the black and gold, and I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Stephen A.
Rex Ryan, Coach Rex Ryan. I mean, forgive me for saying this on national television at the top of 10 o'clock hour this early in the morning. I need security at some point to head out of town, go visit Shannon Sharp and get that brother tested. You got to be crazy for saying something like that. Now, I am a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But I'll be damned if we going to sit here after looking at Josh Allen perform the way that he performed, particularly with that 26-yard run. I mean, if he wins MVP, we're going to be playing that play over and over and over again. I know he's been throwing some interceptions over the last 4 games. It's late. I think it's 5 over the last 4 games or so. But the bottom line is this brother has been playing spectacularly throughout most of this season. We've seen the Buffalo Bills answer the call yesterday. And you're going to come to us with a Pittsburgh Steelers team who I love and I'm very, very proud of. But 6 field goals? You can't get in the end zone, and you're going to sit up here and say that team would be the favorite? Let's stop that nonsense right there. They're not the best team.
Did they win?
Right now? They are not the best team. So what? Buffalo won too. Buffalo Steelers weren't the only one that won.
I wrote it down. So this guy, First Take yesterday, First Take talked about the Bills, Daniel Jones and the Giants, the Bengals and the Chargers, the Bears, LeBron's shout out to Colorado and Coach Prime, LeBron's triple-double, the Jets, the best team in the AFC, John Jones, the 49ers, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Monday Night Football, and NFL MVP competition. They didn't even mention the Steelers and Ravens game. But had the Ravens went up to Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers, you know, whether it would have been the Bills Chiefs first or the Ravens and Steelers first, they would have got that segment in. And they would have drug it on out about how Lamar Jackson looked so phenomenal, or Derrick Henry, King Henry this, King Henry that. You know, again, it's subliminal disrespect. It's subliminal disrespect. You know, and I even saw something where it said Baltimore chances of making the playoffs. They're 7-4. Are they 7-4? Yeah, they're 7-4 because their bye week is this week. They're 7-4. We're 8-2. They have a higher chance right now to make the playoffs than the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to the experts. In what reality does that even make sense? So that's just the stuff we deal with as Steelers fans. And that's the stuff I understand if people want to gripe and complain, but honestly, you should still be used to it. This is what it is. You know, it's great to talk about because it shows the hypocrisy. You know, when you have other teams that look like garbage, they still willing to give them, I still believe in them. You don't believe in this? Pittsburgh pretty much just shut down the number 1, the number 2 offense in the league, and I'm pretty sure they're number 1. They were number 1. They shut down the number 1 offensive attack coming into the game on Sunday. They shut them down. 16 points. Any other team in the league, Lamar Jackson dumping 40-yard passes in the air and he's just scrambling for 40 yards here, 50 yards there, you know, doing jump passes behind the back, no look passes, all this other stuff. But when it comes to Pittsburgh, he ain't doing none of that. Our defense shut them down. They absolutely shut them down. You know, and going back to the topic last week, who needed the game more, Lamar or Russ? It was definitely Lamar. It was Lamar. And it still is Lamar. Because now he's 1-4 against the Steelers. And this was supposed to be their year, right? It's supposed to be their year. They came in hot off the press. Ravens gonna win the Super Bowl this year. This is their year. Pittsburgh is the worst team in the division. Pittsburgh's in first place, baby. Talk that talk now. Nah. I need you to double down on what you said. Because you completely disrespected the boys. And now you gotta eat crow. And that's just what it is. Pun intended, by the way. So yeah, proud of the guys, man. Part of life is facing adversity. It's like what you gonna do when you're faced with adversity. That's life. You know, and that's one of the key things is that what I love about the Steelers is that no matter the adversity, what Mike Tomlin say, we do not care.
We do not care.
And that's how they play. That's how they carry it. They don't care. We don't care. As Steeler fans, we don't care. People from Pittsburgh, they don't care. They don't care. I got family from Pittsburgh. My girl family from Pittsburgh. They truly don't care what the odds are. They going to go out there and they going to bust their ass each time. That's Pittsburgh. That's America, really. And that's why Pittsburgh is America's team. Like, that's the mentality you got to have to be successful. You can't care about the adversity. You can't. Everyone faces adversity. But I'm truly a believer that God don't put more on you than you can bear. It's up to you to respond, and it's up to you to make that thing happen. You know, you got to have faith first, though. So, but, yeah, man, good win. Good win. Steeler Nation, stop being spoiled. And yes, I'm wagging my finger at y'all, to some of y'all at least, because we griping and complaining. It's nonsense, man. We have good problems, like I've always said. We have good problems. The guys are being more cohesive. They're forming chemistry through the adversity, and those are all good things. They're being battle tested right now. Part of, like, when you talk about playoff runs are built on teams that's battle tested. Right now, we're in a gauntlet. We are being battle tested right now. How strong are you mentally to get through this? They gave us easily the worst schedule in the league in terms of timing and stuff like that. Baltimore Sunday, Browns this Thursday. That's 4 days. It's not even 4 days, 3 days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday's game day. Sunday was game day. 3 days. We got them, and then got the Browns Thursday. The next week got the Bengals on Sunday. So that's like a 10-day break. I kind of like that. I do like that because I feel like we need more preparation for the Bengals than we do the Browns, respectfully. Because Jamar Chase and Burrow are messing everybody up in the league. Like, it's like you know where the ball's going. And teams are really struggling with that still. He's leading the league right now in reception yards. And big up to the boy GP. Are y'all aware he's third in receiving right now in the NFL? I mean, the guy that was the problem, the guy that was the troublemaker, he didn't run block a couple plays. But he was frustrated. I'll give him that. But you still got blocked, bro. George Pickens is third in the league in receiving yards. Think about that. So we have a top 2 defense right now. We have a receiver that's third in receiving yards. Najee's playing lights out. We have the best special teams group in the league right now. We're good in all 3 phases. Passing, rushing, defense, special teams. We need the offense to clean up. Broderick, bro, you got to get it together. And, on that note, I believe that is the first thing Pittsburgh is going to address in the draft is a tackle. They might even trade up to get a tackle. And granted, we got a tackle coming back, but yeah, man, the offensive line has been a carousel. It's been a carousel. So even though we got Faltano coming back next year, I still think the Steelers draft another tackle. I think they're definitely going to probably run it back with tackle and guard. And then, because I think we're good at the outside linebacker, we're good at the inside linebacker. They might get an inside linebacker. It just depends on who's on the board because they always going to get the best player available. But I can definitely see them getting another tackle and another guard next year as well, and then a wide receiver. I could see that 1,000%. So yeah, Broderick, man, I don't know, and I've been his number one advocate, but at a certain point, it's just like, bro, I don't know if this is gonna work. And I think, last ditch effort, they're gonna put him back on the left side. They're gonna draft the other tackle. Faltano come back. They're gonna draft the other tackle, put him back on the left side. And if it don't work out from there, then it's just not gonna work out. I've been his number one guy and just defending him and supporting him. I mean, I got the man jersey last year. I was like, man, I thought he was gonna be out Max Starks or somebody, man. Like, I really had high hopes for Broderick. And I still do. Like, if he shakes this sophomore slump off and, he continues to develop and get better, I like what Mike T said. He's like, it's on-the-job training. And I totally get that and I respect that. But, he is going to be key for us to make this run. Because if teams continue to see he's a liability, they're going to load up on his side and come with it. But, he's a dog. Right now he's looking more like a puppy. But, I've seen what he can do. We've all seen what he can do. And I think the level of frustration comes from the fact that it's almost like it's just a letdown. But, in the letdown, we got to be understanding that he is a person. He has real life problems too. And we don't know what's going on in his personal life. I remember when Tua's brother died and the man walked away from the sport altogether. If Tua hadn't retired, he would still be on our team. I mean, he would still be an anchor on our team if Tua's brother didn't die. So, just respectfully, man, we got to keep in mind that these guys are people. They're players, but they're people at the same time. So I hope everything's okay in his personal life. And I truly hope that he's okay. We just want to see my man perform, up to his abilities that we've seen already. So yeah, man. Hey, is there anything else I want to talk about? Yeah. So going back to the schedule, man. We gotta see the Bengals. And then we got to turn around and see the Browns again the following Sunday. And then I believe we see the Eagles. And then we play the Ravens on the so the Eagles on the Sunday, Ravens on the Saturday. And then we turn around and play the Chiefs on a Wednesday. And it's just like, bro, like what? Like what? The Ravens and the Chiefs on a short week, back-to-back weeks. Man, none of this stuff is fair. But again, it's adversity. We're being battle tested right now. And if they can come out on top of all this adversity, y'all, we're going to be in first place. We're going to have home field advantage. And the road to the Super Bowl on the AFC side is going to go through Pittsburgh. And that in itself is why Mike Tomlin should be coach of the year. If all that stuff happens, I don't give a damn what the Detroit Lions are doing. We should have coach of the year, Mike Tomlin. Coach Tomlin should be coach of the year. Because first place in the AFC conference in a year where the Chiefs are supposed to be, their dynasty, they're supposed to have a three-peat and all this other stuff. We're supposed to be the last team in our division. Worse than the Browns, worse than the Bengals. Baltimore Ravens, they're supposed to be AFC favorites with the Bills and the Chiefs. And for all that to be flipped in our favor, how can he not be coach of the year? So, yeah, y'all, I think that's all I have for y'all today. Let me double check. I'm trying to get better about like having talking points and stuff like that, and not necessarily freestyling. You know, when I talk to y'all, just kind of jot down stuff that I think about. I'm posting more stuff from the game Sunday too. Some photos. I put the photos up already, but I got some video I want to put up. No altercations this week with any fans.
That nigga's been irrelevant for years. Fuck. But can't none of y'all see us. Look, why? We gonna win. We gonna catch the W. Cause you talking all that shit right now. I believe in my team. Nigga, I've never seen a winning season. I believe right now.
You know, no Raven fans, no altercations or nothing like that. Nobody coming to smack the phone out of my hand and nothing crazy like that. The Raven fans I did bump into, man, it was love. It was respect. We welcomed them in our house, and we showed them love. You know what I'm saying? Took pictures with them and all this other stuff, shook hands. It was a good game. And so, so nothing crazy happened. But at the end of that game, even he was shaking my hand and stuff like that. It's like, bro, I mean, I grew up where I grew up. We grew up, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, you ain't about to bully me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm cheering for my team. Nah. I ain't even talking stuff. I wasn't even talking stuff about their team. I was just cheering for my team. And he came from wherever he came from to look like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? And then he said all this stuff about what he said. I'm chirping off, and he ain't saying nothing to me. He stopped talking to me. So I just, you know, people wild. People crazy, man. Real quick. To a point I was making earlier. Lamar Jackson versus teams not named the Steelers is 64-19. But Lamar Jackson versus the Steelers is 1-4. And so if we're going to say Lamar Jackson, we might as well say the Ravens. The Ravens versus teams not named the Steelers are 64-19. But they are 1-9 against the Steelers in the last 4.5 seasons. Let that sink in. And people still wasn't picking Pittsburgh to win that game. Oh, this is the year. You know, yeah, the Steelers might have had success against Lamar, and they might have had success against Derrick Henry.
Henry gets stonewalled.
But they've never seen the two together. I think this is going to be too much for the Steelers. And they came in and absolutely set the tone the second play of the game with that fumble from Herbig. Like, come on, man. You're not giving my boys no credit? You're not giving them a chance? Did you just hear those? Did you just hear the record? Like, we wouldn't even care, honestly, if they gave us a chance. But they're like, man, ain't no way in hell they're going to win this game. Basically.
And recovered by number 6, Patrick Queen. First down, Steelers.
Oh, all right. We got something to say about that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, the break is over. You know, I do appreciate y'all for checking in with your boy. You know, we got a tough task this week with the Browns, but I think the guys are up for the challenge. You know, again, like I said before, man, we're not going to underestimate nobody. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of street fights, and the people that lost, that should have won, usually underestimated who they was going up against. And so, you know, I don't want us to underestimate anybody, because that usually doesn't bode well for the person that's supposed to win. Much love and respect to all of y'all. Special shout out to Steeler Nation. But I hope y'all have a blessed day, blessed week. Y'all stay up, stay positive, and break's over. Get back to work. Peace.
Get it up.